Welcome back to the Patient Magnet Podcast. My name is Jared Rohr, and today we're going to be talking about discounts, the biggest cuss word in the field of medical aesthetics. Okay. So I go to conferences a lot. I speak at a lot of these shows. And the biggest thing I hear from people, both on stage and off stage, is, oh, you shouldn't sell discounts. Oh my gosh, you should never have a discount because it just cheapens your whole entire brand and blah, 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 blah. And they will fight you tooth and nail on it. However, the majority of the time I'll say, oh my gosh, like even if somebody buys a package and like, well, of course, if somebody buys a package, I'll give them a discount. It's like, oh, and you don't give your members discounts? Like, well, yeah, our members get a discount. It's like, you don't even have like a new patient discount? And they say, well, yeah, we do, but it's like, you don't want to have like discounts. What they're saying is you shouldn't have monthly specials that train people to look for discounts. And I 100% agree. You don't want to be the Groupon practice, but I do think that discounts can be powerful for you. And here's how. And as a marketing agency, from what we are seeing across the board, here's what is working for our clients. Okay. So as far as discounts goes, here's my firm belief. You should give a discount if people accomplish one of these three behaviors. You should be rewarding behaviors that you want more of. Okay. Reward behavior that you want more of, because what is rewarded is repeated. Okay. I learned that from my good friend, Aaron McNeil, on one of our recent podcasts. What is rewarded is repeated. Okay. So there are three behaviors that you want more of that I think are worthy of a discount. Number one, first timers. Okay. A first timer would be somebody who is a brand new patient. They have never had your services before. Oh my gosh. Yes. Brand new patients, they get $50 off. Something reasonable. You're not giving away 40%, 50%, something crazy. Just something that says, thank you for trying us and trusting us. First timers could be a new time patient. It could be a tox patient who's never tried filler. It could be a tox and filler patient who's never tried a laser, or maybe all three of those. It's never tried facials or something like that. Training your patients to know, oh my gosh, if I try more things, I get discounts on those things. That is awesome, because then guess what? They're going to want to try more things with you. So encouraging that, because you want that. You want people to add verticals to what they do with you. Okay. So that's number one. That is offering a first time discount. And what we are seeing work best across the board right now is $50 off your first service. I'm sure you've seen it constantly. A lot of clients will say, oh, okay, this is what we're seeing work. And they'll say, yeah, I've been doing that. $50 off your first service is easy, because the majority of med spa owners, now, if you're an esthetician, or maybe honestly, if you're even a plastic surgeon, I would maybe offer for plastic surgery, maybe $50 off your consultation, or have something a little more juicy. For estheticians, you might not want to say $50 off your first service, because some of your services are going to be $100. That's 50%. So you want to tweak and change it to your audience. But in general, maybe you want it to fit to be about a 20% discount on the lower end. So for a med spa, a lower end service might be $200, $250, $300. Whereas, the average patient right now, most people will tell you, oh yeah, our average ticket is $750, $850. The average ticket from what we are seeing across the board is like $450. so, but still $50 off, $450 is still nice. But people respond well to cash. So we are not seeing percentages perform well. So if you say 20% off, even 30% off, that does not get the same bump that cash does. People respond really well to cash. Okay. So that's the first thing, a discount on the first time they do something, not a discount on all facials this month, a discount on all lips this month. No. Discount. So if it's February and it's Valentine's Day, if you've never tried lip filler, we're giving you a option to try it and you get $50 off. Something like that. Okay. Because you want to reward the behavior that you want more of. So the first behavior that you want more of is people trying things for the first time and adding new verticals. The second behavior you want more of is bulk packages, bulk. Somebody says, I want to buy all my tox for the year. I want to buy 3 sessions of toxin, and I want to get a little bit of a discount for. Absolutely. You want to pay for the whole year up front for tox? I would love that. And we'll give you 20% off. Thank you very much. Or I want to buy this big series of lasers. Absolutely. A big series of cool sculpting. Absolutely. Okay. Packages, bulk. And most of you already do this. Just know that this can be the strategy for you. So if you're going to send out a newsletter that has monthly discounts, those discounts should all tick these boxes. Hey, if it's your first time doing this, you can blah, 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 blah. Hey, if you want to buy a package of this laser, okay. So bulk is the next thing. Or maybe they're getting a package of tox plus filler plus a facial or something like that. Like if they want to mix and match and add things together, then maybe offer a little bit of a discount. Incentivize people to buy more at once. Okay. And then the last one is loyalty. So the first one was doing something for the first time, trusting you. The second one is bulk. And the last one is loyalty. If they're a member, maybe you're giving them like 10% off skincare, or you're giving them some sort of a discount on their tox every quarter. So membership is one way to get loyalty. Also, like showing up to your events. You have some sort of event. Oh my gosh, I'd love for you to come, because they're coming in and they're opting into packages, they're opting into deals, and they're creating FOMO for everybody else, and they're creating momentum and energy for your brand. Abs, thank you so much for being loyal. Here you go. Here's a discount on whatever this service is that we are equating with loyalty. You always want to equate it back to that root that you want more of, not just, oh my gosh, thank you for buying services this month, it's 20% off. Because God forbid, and we had a client say, oh my gosh, I'm going to send out a text blast. And we said, cool. They said, what should we do? And I said, you guys are really trying to push HydraFacial. So why don't you push, $50 off your first HydraFacial or something like that? And they said, that's a great idea. And so they sent out a text. And what did they say? They said, February is the month of HydraFacials. If you book a HydraFacial, you're all throughout February, you're getting 20% off your HydraFacials. And what happened? Every single HydraFacial that was already booked called and said, oh my gosh, I get 20% off this month. Thank you so much. And they had to eat it, because they forecasted that they would make that money on the full service. And then they just told the person, even though they already booked and they were going to come in, hey, actually you get 20% off. And so what did they do? They trained all those people to look out for the next HydraFacial deal. No bueno. And so they came back to me and they said, oh man, it didn't work. And this is what happened. I said, no, what I told you was off your first time. And so now I'm much more aggressive, saying it's got to be this. And so these are my kind of, caveats if I'm ever advising somebody. So the 3 reasons that you should ever give a discount: number 1 is first time, number 2 is bulk, number 3 is loyalty. And from what we are seeing right now, and I'll tell you, hey, if you don't want to do a discount, I say no problem, absolutely. You can still be fully booked out without ever giving a discount, but you have to be extremely intentional. You have to be extremely intentional, because it is still good to give away something for free instead. So let's say for the pop-up on your website, instead of it being $50 off your very first treatment or very first service, let's say you want to do something free instead. What you can offer is a lead magnet. Okay. And the reason I say this is because these discounts get people in right away. You get a much stronger lead acquisition rate. With lead magnets, you have to have a much stronger sales process, but they can work just as strong. I just need you to be intentional. So if you have a lead magnet, let's say the lead magnet is download our skin type ebook. And when you put in all of your information, we're going to give you an ebook that's built just for your skin type. And what you have done with your team is made a couple of PDFs in Canva that are like, okay, here's an oily skin document that says, oh, here's all the links to a bunch of skincare products that we sell, as well as information about your skin. And then here's one for dry skin. Here's one for combination skin. Here's one for normal skin or acneic skin or something like that. You have a bunch that you've made, and that based on their answers, they get those sent. What needs to happen is the following day at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m., whenever your team gets in, they're hopping on the phone and saying, hey, I saw that you downloaded that, whatever. I just wanted to ask you a few questions about your skin. Do you have a second? Oh my gosh, yes, I'm struggling so much with this, and my combination skin with my oily skin. It's always whatever. Then they can dive into, oh, okay, great. Well, we have a wonderful esthetician on staff. Or honestly, have your esthetician do it. Hey, I'm an esthetician over here at Jared Rohr's Med Spa, and I would love to have a quick conversation with you about your skin. I saw that you submitted the form, and there's, oh my goodness, yes, I have oily skin. I don't know what to do about it. Well, hey, why don't you come in? We have this Vizia skin machine. It takes a picture of under your skin and shows us everything that's happening. And let's have you come in. Maybe we'll schedule like a facial or something and kind of really get you all squared away. Oh, I would love that. So you need to have an intentional sales process for follow-up. You can't just say, I'm not going to give any discounts, and I'm not going to have a really intentional sales pipeline on top of that. So if you do say that, just build out something like that, where it's a strong, intentional follow-up process for your team. Because I agree. you don't want to be known as the med spa locally who is just the Dollar Tree. You don't want to be known as the one who is the Dollar Tree clinic, but you also don't want to be the clinic who goes out of business as you weren't able to get people in the door. Okay. So the biggest offers that we're seeing work across the board for those pop-ups are $50 off your first appointment. Some sort of a cheaper per unit talks offer works really well. I know a lot of people don't like that, but cheaper per unit talks works really well. I love Galderma, and I use Dysport on myself. Or I have the Orlando injector, Alexis Bowie, do Dysport on me. But Botox has become an eponym, and an eponym is like Kleenex. It is a word it's a brand that has become the word. So Kleenex is one of those. Trampoline, I found out, is also one of those. I forget what it's actually called, but it's not called a trampoline. So Botox, and in fact, you probably right now you're listening like, I had no idea. Trampoline's not the name of the thing. No, it's not. Apparently, it's called like a jump pad or something like that. So Botox is the eponym. So if you say something like, and I'll give you an example. We had a client that said, okay, I just hired an injector. It was their first time. They were an esthetician clinic only, and then she hired an injector. And she goes, now that we hired the injector, I want to do like a really big push to get people to fill up her schedule. I said, cool. What do you want to do? She goes, well, maybe the pop-up for the website, we can offer $100 off your first Botox appointment. And all of us on our team were like, that is a big discount. That should work. I was like, let's put a disclaimer that it's got to be, a full service and not just like an area or something, but let's do it. We did it, and they got nothing. Crazy. Nothing. No one was opting in. And we were like, what is going on? And I said, hey, what does that shake out for you per unit? What's the offer? They said, they're probably on average paying somewhere around $9 a unit. And I said, okay, what if you give up one more cent and we say $8.99 Botox for your very first appointment? And I was like, are you okay with $8.99 a unit Botox for your very first appointment? Are you okay with that? She said, absolutely. Let's try it. And they jumped from a 3% conversion rate, which is, decent enough, just not enough for me. I'd rather, my clients, we like to get up to 5 to 8% conversion rate on page for their offers. So she was at 3%. After putting $8.99 Botox, it jumped up to like 17% for the next month. It's like 17% of her traffic turned into a lead because of that. And they had to turn it off because they were like, we're getting too many of these. And I said, great, but now you've got like a patient base. And that was their idea in the first place. But sometimes it's just like simple verbiage. So we're seeing Botox per unit offers work well. We're seeing $50 off your first appointment work well. And then we're seeing lead magnets work. So if you say, fill out the form and get our ebook, fill out the form and get, some sort of a special video or a video consultation. Like we're seeing, for plastic surgeons, free consultations are working well because most plastic surgeons across the board charge. So right now for plastic surgery, we're seeing free consultations work. And then for estheticians, free skincare gift with your first appointment is working well as $25 off your first appointment. And then obviously you have a disclaimer underneath for any of these. So if it's, $50 off your first med spa appointment, there's a disclaimer, minimum purchase of $200 or more or something like that. So those are kind of everything that we are kind of seeing across the board for discounts. And this is my personal philosophy. Okay. So if you have a different philosophy, that's totally fine. And I agree for the most part with everybody. Discount culture and encouraging discount culture and waiting for the big special and the big discount is not healthy for your business. But having a strategy around offers and discounts is what you reward. Behavior that is rewarded is repeated. Okay, what you reward will be repeated. Thanks, Aaron, for that, wherever you are. But that's it. That's kind of everything I wanted to talk today about discounts. So again, this has been Jared Rohr with the Patient Magnet podcast. We own the web and SEO agency Aesthetic Conversion. If you need help with your on-page conversion rate or you want consultation on what offers you should be doing on page in order to bump up that performance on page, or maybe you just need more traffic so that those offers can actually convert, let us know. Reach out, go onto our website and schedule a marketing analysis. And I'd be happy, our team, myself or our team would be happy to look at all of your marketing numbers and tell you, here's where you're deficient and here's where you have to invest into next. And spoiler alert, most times that does not involve our services. Most times I look at someone's numbers and I say, oh, here's what you have to do next. And maybe it's regarding social media, or honestly, maybe it's just regarding lead conversion. So would love to talk with you and give you kind of a marketing analysis of how you're performing overall so that you know what to do next. Because the biggest thing that stops you from growing is not lack of knowledge. It's just confusion. So would be happy to dispel some of that confusion for you. Thank you so much. Leave a comment below if you liked it, or if you disagree and you say, Jared, you're an idiot. I think you should never offer a discount, or you should offer discounts for everything. I would love for you to fight with me in the comments. I'm all here for it. Okay. So if you're on Spotify, please leave a comment, pop a like, throw a subscribe onto this podcast, and let me know what you want to hear next. Thanks.